Hello, Silvana. How are you? Am I audible? Is everything good? Okay, that's so good. I'm so happy to be here. This was like an impromptu inspiration that I had, that I thought that I am going to answer the questions that I have on my community tab over here. I was not able to kind of like get the time to sit and kind of record this. I also felt like recording it would have felt a little bit artificial and maneuvered. Like I wouldn't feel like I'm really answering. I would have felt artificial answering things about myself. So let's see. There's quite a lot. Um, Hello, tiger, butterfly. So, where do I begin from? I hope the background music is also not too much. So, the first person that commented was Admin Craft Karnika. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. And she had a couple of questions. Like, there are about 10 questions that this person had. So, one of the repetitive questions that I do have is, where am I from? And I am from New Delhi, India. And the second one is, how did you realize about your psychic gifts? Well, I'm gonna say that I am still learning about my gifts. And hello, sincerely, Tabitha. Okay, hello. I'm gonna say that I'm still learning about my psychic gifts so far. There's a lot that I am learning about myself during this journey. Um, how do I explain this? I guess I could not record a video sitting one on one, trying to kind of like say what I am and who I am, simply because of this. Because like I would, I am someone who cannot answer a question like superficially or in an open ended manner. I kind of have to go into the details of things and articulate myself the very best that I can. And I think that there's a lot to somebody that you would signify as spiritual, or kind of understanding about their own spiritual gifts and psychic energies. I think, cutting it short, I realized about my gifts a few years ago, during the whole pandemic era. And I think that time was very dark for global consciousness, and it pushed a lot of people into, specific areas, into like finding out who they are and what they're like. And I remember how I came into tarot was, I started watching horoscope videos on YouTube, and I was like, scrolling through a lot of them at one point. And I had never been that type of a person, and I found myself constantly looking at those videos and being very curious about what tarot is and how tarot works. And um, I remember at that point I kind of got too intrigued and I ordered one tarot deck from Amazon, and I was just playing with the deck, like I got a deck and I'm playing with it and I'm just like, oh wow, this is fun, and I know a couple of meanings of the cards, and I started, like playing with it with my friends and my family members, and I would just, say shit. Like I would just say things that I don't even know that are true. And they would be like, how do you know? And I would be like, oh, I'm just playing, like I'm just like, imagine like a couple of girls just sitting around and like, gossiping and giggling, and then the other one is like, oh, I have this new thing, like let's play with this, let's kill time. And I started doing those spreads and I started like reading for people, and I realized like, oh shit, like I'm really on to something. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like that's how I started. I would say like probably seamlessly got into the whole tarot situation, and I got an inspiration to try it out and post my own video. And I was a little bit, like timid about it, and I was like, oh, is it really going to be something? I'm just going to kill a little bit of time. At that time I was in college, and I was like, okay, well, maybe let's just get into it. And yeah, I noticed that the second last question is, how did you get into tarot? And I think that pretty much sums it up. And there is another follow up question which says, what are your plans ahead for YouTube? And before I say that, okay, hi, Jens, Love, Vishaka, and Sid. Hello. Welcome to my live. If you have anything that you feel like you want to ask me, you can. You're most welcome to ask me anything on the live as well, of course. So the third question is, what are your plans ahead for YouTube? Well, I really don't know. I wish I knew what I am constantly aiming for with this. I think the only thing I'm going to say is that I just want to make content that's genuinely true to me. So you would notice that what I post is a little bit, it changes, and it's not always 100% what you can expect, because my channel represents my own growth. My channel represents what I am doing in my life, where I'm trying to move, and it's like I'm trying to figure out where or what am I doing best, not just limited to, romance or anything else. It's kind of like trying to find your own specialty, and which somewhere it is like, I know that it's become quite good, or I would say I get better response with those romantic videos. But I think in terms of YouTube, if I had to really narrow it down, I want the content to really speak in volumes with who I am and what I represent. I don't want it to be commercialized. I don't want my content to be something that is just booming out there and trying to ace the algorithm, because I feel like whenever I try to get into that energy, it makes me upset. It kind of blocks my creativity. So I guess that's the best way I can answer it. You used to do much longer videos. Now I notice they are much shorter. Well, that's because it's energy work, I hope you understand. It's energy work. It's, again, I'm telling you, it's not like I want to, I'm not doing production of videos. I'm working with energies, and channeling so much energy, sometimes it does get hectic, because I have a personal life behind the whole YouTube situation. And as much as I am able to offer insights, I am also doing things and learning things simultaneously in my own life. So I can't always keep up with the long duration videos. However, I try to stay the course with it, because I feel like I cannot do those short type of videos as well. I kind of feel like I leave it. I like to bring a level of, closure with my readings. Like if I do something with you, right, Silvana, if I am sitting one-on-one with you, I want to feel like I am able to help you, you know. It's like you could just see that. It makes me really happy to, I guess that's why I feel like I take a lot of pride in my work, or like my gift as well, right? It's like I want you to feel like you're taking something, we're exchanging something really good. So that's why I don't want my, you know, readings to become commercialized. I'm very happy with the slow and steady process of everything. And meanwhile, this journey, I'm getting so emotional because I have understood so much about myself through all of this, right? So we have the next question. How do you come up with video concepts? Is it through intuition or research? Well, if I'm being honest, I am a creative junkie. Okay, like you cannot like institutionalize or capitalize a person like me. I am going to become unhealthy, I'm going to become unhappy, and you're going to see it within me, and you're not going to like it because, you know, well, like I will put that energy out there that I'm not happy with what you're making me do. So it's the same. If you're getting to know me right now, you will figure it out that I cannot be. I've tried. I'm gonna be honest. I've tried to follow, you know, the best topics or what my viewers are watching the most. And of course, when you're creating content, you have to stick to one thing. But it's again, it's not like a production company. You can't keep asking an artist to, you know, keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's like they need more space to grow, right? So we have Sonakshi. Thank you so much. Oh, Savannah, that just warms my heart, you know. Thank you. How do I pronounce this name? I San. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Can I elaborate what? Hello. Yes, I am Indian origin. I am from New Delhi. Born and brought up. Well, yes. So, is it intuition or research? It is mainly intuition. And it is like happiness. Like, do I feel like I want to record this video or not? If I don't want to, you can do nothing, absolutely nothing. Like, I cannot sit down and, you know, do something. You can't force somebody to do something, right? Some people, um, you know, they're good to go. They can kind of like, you know, commercialize their whole, uh, I don't know, their content creation. You know, a lot of people are doing that these days and it works for them. I don't think it works for me. So, intuition is definitely the way to go for me. So we have the next question which says, do you YouTube full time or are you studying? Well, I used to do part time. Now I am doing it full time. I used to study. I graduated last approximately a year ago. I am a law graduate. Where do you live? Yes, I do live in India. So, will you marry me? Oh, I can't answer that question, man. That is flattering, but I can't answer that question. Well, I guess I'm going to say no. Thank you. Thank you, Tamanna. What gravitated you towards tarot? How did you start? Love your energy videos, by the way. Thank you. I did answer that shortly before this. I just answered that. So, how do you clean bad energy? See, energy is very complex, and I am you know, still trying to figure out, because there's so much, there's so many ways in which, you know, energy works. And um, I feel like in my hearts of hearts, I feel that people don't, like, let's talk about evil eye. I feel like internally, some people don't realize that they're, looking at you, and they're admiring you in a way that is sending negative energy towards you. And you don't get to know when that energy is like leeching onto you or sucking you dry. And you don't really get to know those things, right? Or it could be outwardly somebody is sending you bad energy, right? So one of those things is like religiously praying, doing your protective prayers every day. You have to do that every day. And if you get well versed with your body and your intuition, you're going to start figuring out that your body is sending you, energy. Your body is like kind of telling you, hey, I felt a little bit of jitters, like it's like I get a little bit of jitters, or like, for me, it's like when I just know, like now I just know when I'm getting energy from somebody, or somebody's thought just pops up in my head. That's like a part of being psychic. And every person is psychic. So the more that you tap into this, and I feel like if you ask this question to me, it means that you have some inclination. You kind of feel like I'm getting bad energy, or it can sometimes be your own thoughts. So when you put it like that, I cannot give you one concrete answer without figuring out exactly what your situation is, right? And I think that you are getting into that, and I kind of felt like Spirit wanted me to answer that for you. And Silvana, I kind of I'm guessing if it's like people around you, or in your household, or your family members. That's what I'm picking up. And you kind of feel like these people sometimes unintentionally send that bad energy towards you, because you might be a light worker. That could be a generic answer, but that's what I feel like I'm picking up. And because you are a person that is of spirit, like your nature is something that makes other people, you know how they say, like, ick their demons. You kind of have to still, you cannot hate on people for doing something that they don't know that they're doing. They're not really doing it out of spite. They're probably just doing this because their heart is not that clean, or their ego makes them, look at you in that manner. So you can only protect yourself. And whenever you feel like energy is getting heavy on you, don't affirm that energy. Don't be like, I know who's doing this, and I know who is sending me bad energy, or like make yourself more prone to it by thinking bad thoughts about people. You can just simply put a protection prayer for yourself and ask God, or whoever you believe in, or your angels. Yeah, you pray, right? So that's the most you can do. That's the most you can do. The worst thing that you can do is to, give into that energy more. It's like ignorance is bliss in this. That bad energy will wear off you. Um, Unless it gets a little bit more. But I think that you would figure it out. I think that you would already know when, you need to do something about it. So that's what I'm really picking up about you. I think the best thing that I feel in my own reference, even though spiritual energy is something great, immense, it is an advantage, but a lot of it is over here. And you have to learn to maneuver energies over here before you begin to analyze something else. Because I feel like I'm just really picking up on your energy. I guess I was supposed to answer this, but you make yourself more vulnerable by thinking about these things a lot more than you should. Okay? I hope that answers your question. So we have, I am also an intuitive, have been trying to figure out how to start a platform on YouTube, but there are so many here. How can I be more creative? Well, see, I think that comparison is the thief of joy. You are someone where you feel inclined towards something, you owe it to yourself to try whichever platform you feel like you want to put yourself out there, like your own debut. And there are a lot of professionals in every area and every field these days. So there's nothing that you can be like, oh, this one's less, so there's more scope for my success, right? Don't think about it in that manner. Think about it in a way where you're like, well, I don't know how much you believe in destiny, but I do. And I am not someone who believes in kind of pushing themselves to the edge to just win. I think my part is just to put myself out there with the best of what I can do. And that's it. If I'm meant to be successful, if I'm just meant to receive whatever I am supposed to receive, I will have it. It's all about just trying. So you're trying to find some sort of loophole where I'm guessing you're looking for a guaranteed answer or success, right? I don't think that's how it works, right? So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you're really looking. You want to find yourself. Do you want to explore more of yourself? This is very good. This is how I also figured a lot of things about myself. So you should give it a go and follow your gut, which is telling you, whatever it's telling you. Follow your gut with whatever it's telling you. So don't you find it difficult doing readings and being on camera most of your time? I mean, you seem kind of introvert and private person. Well, I am pretty private. I don't know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert. I think that people have phases, and that's true for me. I I just I can't put a label on myself. I'm so many things at multiple times, or like in different times, hours of the day. I just don't know. And um, I did feel like at one point that I need to put myself out there instead of, just my hands, because people would be able to see me and connect with me. And I guess there's a thin line between being a private person and putting yourself out there, your face out there on the camera. There's not, you don't have to share everything in order to, what I think, I'm just sharing my gift and sharing my energy with other people. You don't have to put everything out about yourself, and that's not something I would be personally comfortable with at the end of the day. Yeah, you did say that, don't you find it difficult? Yes, I did find it difficult. Um, it's a win-win, I guess. It's a win-win. So we have, hey Isha, I absolutely love your energy and aesthetic. You radiate positivity and beauty. It is inspiring to watch you. Sending love, good vibes. Stay as magical as your readings. Thank you, Ananya. That means a lot. Especially the aesthetic part, because I am an aesthetic junkie. I just love absolute pretty things around me, and it makes me want to work harder in life. Like, I think pretty things just make things really good. I think it's because of, the overload of Venus and Leo in my chart, but apart from that, I'm just a person. Um, yeah, I would say that I just feel the need to tell you that people aren't always that positive. And as much as I appreciate that, a little window into that would be that you have to work on being that positive and radiating that light. But I really appreciate you saying that. You see, start with the thought that you're going to compete with yourself and not anyone else. Stay unique. Yes, of course, you should stay unique and you should start. Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching my readings. Well, what do we have next? How do I know what do I need to work on to spiritually elevate and become a higher version? How do I do it? Oh, this one's gonna require a lot of my energy. I don't want to answer this. How do I know what I need to work on to spiritually elevate, become a higher version? How do I do it? Well, first of all, you need to stop seeing yourself as a project. You don't have to figure out always what you need to work upon. You don't have to work upon anything. You have to begin to accept who you are, and I guess just what parts hurt inside, and where you feel like you're not good enough, or you feel like you're unlovable or you're difficult. Those are the parts you need to learn to accept. You don't really have to work upon. You're not a project, that's what I'm gonna say. I think that spiritual elevation, these all words are bullshit, man. You know, it's too much influence of the social media and what makes people feel like there are such big projects they need to work upon themselves, and they need to do this and that, and I need to spiritually, transmute energy to, get this and get that, and I need to get that vibrational level, and I need to become this version of myself so that I can get these dreams and manifestations. But you just need to accept yourself. You just need to accept yourself. In it's like you're this, flower that's kind of like not blooming, and the more that you water into it, the more that you fertilize it, it's like it starts blooming. And that's just how you get everything. So you need to just accept yourself. You just need to accept yourself. You don't need to work on yourself. You just need to allow yourself. You just need to allow yourself to be. That's what you need to do. You don't need to spiritually elevate, become a higher version of yourself. This is all stupidity. This is what social media teaches you, and it has somewhere commercialized spirituality. I absolutely hate it. I hate it because I've been there, and it's bullshit. How do you work on your shortcomings, and how do you realize them? Okay. How do I work on my shortcomings? I feel like thank you, Whiteworth. Jazzy Stars, I answered that in the beginning of the live. I answered that quite deeply. And I don't know who is this person saying, do you have? I don't know what that means. Hey, Jessica. Thank you, Jazzy. Why is this full moon energy wearing us out and makes us die? Oh, you tell me, man. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I'm hoping somebody could tell me what the fuck is going on. It's crazy, man. This full moon. I just absolutely don't understand. I have been temperamental as shit. I've just been, a little bit like, don't pick fights right now, don't have outbursts. I also a PMS thing, so I'm just like, a volcano waiting to burst. And I don't know, there is definitely something about this full moon because it did hit me quite a lot. And I would say one word, like full moons are always, in my experience, they're so like, they're like this fast forward movement. They're like quite overwhelming. They just make you push through things when you're maybe clueless or you don't want to figure them out, right? So I think that this full moon is one that definitely is pushing a lot of people. I just heard Chiron. So I think that this is, things that have been spiritually holding the collective consciousness back. A lot of significance on the throat and the root chakra. Mainly, whenever I hear that from my guides, I feel like it is a lot about people that develop, childhood codependencies that hinder them from being their true self in the world, no matter what their age is. You would see examples of people that are still, they act so immature even when they're like in their 50s or 60s, because it's like a very stagnant programming in their head. I do feel like, this full moon was quite empowering and still has the effects. It lasts for about 2 to 3 days after the full moon as well. So it's like a conclusive cycle. And I do feel like the energy has been pretty low. I think it's going to take a while to gain momentum. I think it's going to take a while. It was pretty strong this time around. Is that Yuri or Luri? How do we pronounce that? Is that an L or an I? I like the wonderful background music. Are you into music? Did you learn it professionally? I absolutely live off music. It's just what I am into a lot of kinds of music. Mainly, if we had to go generic, I really like R&B. I am also a rap person, but I yeah, I do have a couple of artists and just random YouTube finds, and this is just a playlist in the background. This is the type of music that I listen to when I am trying to, um, I guess, just lock in with myself. I don't always revert to meditation or things like that. I think that the body needs to be calm to get downloads or whatever you're trying to do. You don't have to force yourself into a meditative state to feel like you're being spiritual, right? It's just open. Energy is available to you however you want it to be. So music is amazing, amazing for that. So where did you learn tarot from? I am self-taught. I Yeah, I am self taught. I have not really learned it from anyone. I actually, when I got my first tarot deck, I used to just, pick it up, look at it. Even when I read now, it's a lot about just connecting with it. I absolutely do not like anybody touching my decks. I am very possessive about this. I just don't like anybody touching my things. Like they're mine, and they're just for me. Yeah, I guess I do have a special bond with this. It's just so much that they say to you. It's energy. It's just like somebody made this, but what it tells me is from inside, right? It just tells me something, and there's so much that I learned from it about myself and other people. So doing what you have been doing. You have to put yourself out there, like you said. You have to connect with the energies, but it seems like sometimes it can be too much for you. You're vulnerable yourself for the energy. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a process, right? I've been into this for about 3 to 4 years. But I think it's not just about the collective energy. It's it's about the increasing sensitivity that you keep getting with the more work that you do. It's not just about tarot, it's about energies that I experience in my day-to-day life when I meet different people that come across. I meet them, that come across in my path. It's like not just being empathetic, but also being psychic. It's like you're exposed to a lot of energies, and a lot of times, again, I choose to ignore energies. A lot of times it's like I will do my own thing, but mentally I don't have to acknowledge anything and everything that is still available to me as an information, right? It's like consumption. And since energy work comes so easily to me, it is at my own beck and call. When I want to entertain another energy, it can't come without my own consent. Yeah, it is the last full moon of the year. Especially, I am just thinking about Christmas. I'm not thinking about full moons. I'm thinking about Christmas. The vibes, the vibes are amazing. So, haha, relate with you on the music part. In fact, I guess you're the reason I gave a listen to Kanye's Heartless. So I could really recommend better songs than Kanye's Heartless. I swear, there's a lot much more better music out there. But yeah, I think the best kind of music is the one that really speaks to you, not the one that is like trendy out there or your friends are listening to. No. Um, I would say that figure out what music you really like. That music is so important. You should know what you really like. Okay, so I'm still answering this one person's question. So let's speed up. Okay, this person also asked, how did you get into tarot? So I did just answer that. And what can we do to end soul contracts or elevate? How do I know what is it here to teach me? Okay, how do I know what is it here to teach me? When you're dealing with one person, whether platonic or romantic, when you're dealing with one person, it is very difficult to take accountability for what that person is showing you. And the purpose is not to just end the contract that you share with that person. Your purpose is to see what that person is showing you. And a lot of people are not able to see what that situation is showing them because they are very hard on themselves, and it is difficult for them to see where they're lacking in their life, and especially if the situation with the other person is hurting them. They don't want to accept what is bothering them about this person in their life. So technically, to end that contract, you have to dig deep within yourself and see what it is teaching you about yourself. Because it's not about the other person. And if you genuinely love yourself so much, you're going to figure out what would be good for you, right? It's like everything that I have experienced has ended up showing me that it was never really about the other person. It was about me and how I really feel about this situation. And a big part of why people find emotions and lessons so difficult is because they 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 don't know how to validate themselves, and they don't know how to acknowledge their own fears and their feelings. And I think anybody who is, dealing with small or big feelings, your first task at hand is to just create this safe space for yourself, that I don't have to explain my feelings, I don't have to compartmentalize them, I don't have to make sense of them, but this is just what it is. So when you start giving those emotions a space to lay out in front of you, they will start automatically giving you the information you need in order to understand why this situation bothers you the way it does. So that's what I'm gonna say. How to end soul contracts? Rhetoric question: does it ever really end? It doesn't end. So you have to kind of build that rapport with yourself and understand, like, well, what is that other person teaching me? It's not about when does it end, and when will they give me what I want, or when will the universe give me what I want. I think the biggest gimmick over here is elevation, is how people are obsessed with spiritual elevation and manifestation and ending contracts and meeting their soulmate and everything. That is again a part of the whole capitalist journey. So just level with yourself as a human before trying to figure out what is a lesson and what is not, and if it's good for me, if it's a red flag, if it's a green flag. No. You're not dealing with a notebook, you're dealing with a human. So I feel like intuition really plays a crucial role, not just for tarot, but in general. How can we increase our intuition? What do you do? Well, I'm gonna say layman term, I do a lot of shadow work. Again, the same thing. In the most generic sense, I just try to make myself happy. Some people are naturally born with very strong intuitions, some less. I really do believe that women do have a gift of intuition. A lot of women generally do have very strong intuition, and there are some gifted men that also have strong intuition. Instinct is something that is in a lot of people. Instinct, you can place it with a box of like survival. It's like, basic common sense sometimes. Instinct is something that comes from your gene key, okay? Instinct is something that comes from your biology. So instinct can kick in when, something feels dangerous, or some sort of survivable, survivability facet is present in front of you. Instinct is when, it's just like, standing on the road and you feel like you should just shift a little bit to the side because you can get knocked over. So that's instinct. Intuition is when you feel like you should take exactly 4 steps to the right because there's a cycle or a scooter gonna go just right behind you and you can save yourself. I'm gonna say that's what intuition is. It's got some sort of premonition factor. So I do feel like some people are more gifted than others in different ways. Every person has their own intuitive gift. And I think if you're looking to enhance your own intuition, you should find out what makes you happy. Because the more that you align with your own divine, I guess I'm going to say blueprint, or your own path, of course you're going to become more intuitive. The more, truer you are to yourself, there's no denying that you're, doing things that make you happy and you're connecting with your instinct. Because in this world, no matter which generation or century you're from, the whole it's built in a manner so that sometimes you do defy your truth. And how do we know if it's our truth? It's because something inside us tells us that this is what we need to do. So in simpler form, I would again say focus on what makes you happy, living life completely in an authentic manner that makes you happy. That's how you're going to figure out, who you are, and you get closer to yourself. That's how your intuition comes alive. Hi Shreya, hi. I love your readings. I have a question. Neptune, Uranus, 7th house. Can you tell me what a good relationship would be for me? Uh, I feel like mm, a man in who's got strong Cancer and Taurus. I feel like you're very like anxious. That's what I'm picking up intuitively, and I can't read too much into the energy because there's no energy exchange, and it kind of takes a toll on me. But I think that a person that is very clear and is very 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 emotional would be like pretty good for you. Not emotional in a sense like they're a wreck, but definitely someone that is a lot more giving in terms of what you've experienced previously before. You need someone that literally like places all their cards out there and is like giving in terms of like gift giving and like I think acts of services is what I'm picking up for you. Hello Nana, I love your readings and insight. Please put them often. I try my best, Nana. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've learned so much from you. You seem too young to be wise. Well, I earned all my wisdom, Gabriella. Thank you. Have you heard of cord cutting? Many tarot readers and psychics do it. Seems stupid. I mean, your karmic partners are so much to teach you. I feel like cord cutting is very real. I feel like because it seems stupid when you're trying to run away from a lesson you're meant to learn. You can't fool the universe and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna cut this because I don't want to learn my lesson. No, that's not how we really move. You can't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna cut this because I don't want to learn this. I just don't feel like it. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. No, but cord cutting really works when you have learned the lesson and you are 100% affirmative and decisive in the fact that this no longer serves me. So a cord cutting is just like a switch in the head where I'm like, I don't want to deal with this person anymore. I learned, I understood why their presence was required in my life, and it is generally like a switch. Like when you've given yourself closure and you don't have this, back and forth with why you made that decision. And mostly I feel like in karmic partners or soulmate twin flames, a lot of self-worth and self-esteem is involved. Like people tolerate other people stepping on them and treating them as like doormats or being pushovers because they don't know what they deserve. So if somebody learns the lesson the universe is trying to teach them, yes, they can cut the cord, and it does work. It's like an energetic cord that you have. So even if you imagine that I'm cutting this cord, it actually happens because it is just a switch that is taking place in your mind. So it does work. I have done that myself. I wouldn't say in terms of magic, but a lot of it is in my head, meditative states, or just like affirming it out there in the universe, like I'm done and dusted, like please just take it out of my energy, like just please do that heavy work right now for me. Do you feel sad and negative? If yes, how do you deal with it? No, Nana, no, obviously I don't feel sad and negative. I'm an alien. I'm just kidding. Of course, man, I do feel sad and negative, and I really do have my own moments where I'm just like, to do heck with everything. I don't want to focus on anything else. Uh, I guess those have been major building blocks for me, and why I might have, you know, or why I might be the person that I am today. I guess I'm just gonna say that. Like, how do I deal with it? I deal it with like the way everybody else does it. You don't have a manual for the way you deal with emotions. Sometimes it's like I need to just go out there and talk to my friends. I need somebody to listen to me. Sometimes I need to yell. Sometimes, I have misdirected anger. I'm pissed at people who have no reason for, me to be pissed at. And Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I apologize. I feel too negative. Sometimes I feel hopeless. Sometimes I cry my eyes out. Sometimes, I feel like shit. Sometimes I feel like it's bad, but I can still make it through. There's no manual to, being sad and negative, and there's no, um, like a book for how you can calculate human emotions. It's a part of being a human, and you deal with it the way you feel like dealing with it, and most of the times with experience in life, and you learn to become friends with yourself, and sometimes you just know what you need to do to make yourself feel better. There is no manual for it. We're all just learning how to manage our emotions the best we can. So I hope that makes sense. From which country you are? I am from India. I love you so much. Thank you. Hi from Seattle. Hello. Hi Andy, what do you want to ask? I'm not doing a personal reading. I'm just doing a Q&A. So Gabriella, you're answering the questions that I have part of my life. I made my own life harsh and happy with masculine style ambitions, the rat race, stellium, sun stellium in 12th. Now I'm finally learning to relax. Oh, I relate with that. I just feel like sometimes, you are born with specific lessons in a life to learn to maneuver, and it's just most of the times, what really like helps me, and I know that a lot of people don't really go for that. I i try to connect with my soul, and sometimes when I completely am able to zoom out, I realize that this is just a role, and this is just a phase, and nothing about this is permanent. I know that is something that a lot of times we cannot really use, because certain emotions are very attached. Some situations are very attached where we can't zoom out. We're like very attached to the situations. But if it's possible, when you find yourself in places where you're trying to regroup and refocus, it's just like you realize that this is just a role, and it doesn't matter if I fuck up, make a mistake 2 or 20, it doesn't matter. Is this the first time I'm doing this in my life? And I guess there's no way to be perfect about it. I'm also doing this for the first time. So that's the way I move about things. You do, you live and learn. That's just what it is. Okay, a lot of questions coming in. If we connect with somebody's energies without energy exchange, how does it affect the reader? Well, it is an energy exchange. It's like a transaction, right? Goods and services, and money is an energy. So if I am answering something, it's not always mandatory, but it is a preference. So if I am answering something for you in my head, if it's like if it's like free, if it's like a giveaway, I'm not expecting something back. But if I'm sitting and I'm like, well, I do expect something in back, it can be at my own terms. So it could be, an energetic exchange. It's like a like. It's like your energy. It's like when I read your energy, and I am not gonna say this, it's for everybody else out there. When I read the energy, I tap into your energy. I don't care where you are. Technology works as a window and a portal. I am also using your energy. That's just the way I read. That's the way I work, and that's my own ancestral wisdom. That's just something that I have tapped in and understood with the energetic work that I do, because of how deeply I connect. I do feel that I'm kind of like exchanging energies with the other person. So it does affect the reader. It depends person to person. I guess, yeah, it depends person to person how well they're doing it, how well they know how to manage energies. So, Aries, Sun, Libra, Moon, Cancer, Rising, you're one of the best readers, intuitive when you post. I'm always like, I'm just going to say something. Oh, I absolutely love hearing that from people. You know why? Because you know who I am in my real life. I am someone that I would call you a real friend if you're going to tell me exactly what I need to hear. If you're someone who is just gonna make my life comfortable, you're not my real friend. Because if you're my real friend, you're gonna tell me where I'm falling short because you love me and you want me to do the best. And that's just how some people work, and that's the people that I aspire to have around me and be, and that's what you get on my readings. So I'm very glad that works for you, because not a lot of people have the heart to, always listen to what they need to hear. And that too repetitively, people get tired of that shit. Hi Nana, I am not very well versed. I am still learning a lot about astrology, so I don't think I'm equipped to answer. Yes, I am in New Delhi. Um, I got a direct positive to some after readings. How can you tell if you're channeling the right source and getting accurate? This is a very tricky one, and this I don't think you should open portals with tarot when you're not very well versed with energy, because it is a trial and error kind of a thing. You have to learn what are good and bad energies, and if you're a beginner, I highly suggest that you become grounded and meditate. And when you have to go out there in the nature and ground yourself to like kick some sense over here, because a lot of energy comes out when you're channeling. You have to ground yourself to just kick some sense over here. It's mind, body and spirit, always it works together. So don't channel when you're not feeling good. Don't channel. That's why, I also don't like try to force too many readings when it's just not happening. Thank you, Jason. I don't really comment on the twin flame journey, because personally, I don't think that I'm very I just don't know. And I have had very intense karmic experiences in my life, but I think if I'm gonna, go out on the limb, I think people who really relate with the twin flame energy want to feel something special in their life, or want to find that zest for life, and they kind of find it through the twin flame label. So I know that it's gonna hurt some people's feelings, but I think, I don't know. I think they could exist. You never really know until you've experienced one. You cannot, that's why I don't deny the existence of it. But I do feel, with what I have seen, a lot of people try to make themselves feel some kind of way, uh, saying that, it might be uh, twin flame journey. And it's quite messed up out there with all of this information being around. Oh, I have low battery, I am going to have to end this in a few minutes. I kind of don't like the twin flame connotation as well. It's a mirror, kind of low frequency. Yeah, I think it's just misconceptions. I do feel, with how much I allow my mind to wander off with the presence of magic, I do not deny the existence of it. I just feel like you cannot really say until you've really experienced something like that, right? Do you think that karmic relationships may be smooth and fulfilling? I get a sense that your emphasis on karmic is something that's more on the justification of having another person around rather than what exactly is karmic. Hello, Casey. So glad you're here. Um, I think any relationship can be fulfilling if there are two people that are willing to work upon it. It's not about romantic. Again, I say platonic and romantic. If you have a friend that you have had a rough phase with, but both of you have grown out of it and you choose to evolve together because you value each other enough that you want to be with each other and you're going to respect each other and respect the people that you're becoming, you don't have to be the same, but you respect each other, then yes, of course, any relationship can be fulfilling, right? It takes a lot to make things work. It takes two to tango. So I'm just going to brush through the questions because I did answer a lot of them. What's your zodiac sign? I am a fellow Libra and I'm very proud of it. How much do you know about psychology? Well, I know a lot. I know a lot. I don't know how. I would just say that I guess I'm just gifted in that manner, touch wood. So yeah, I just naturally, I think I just know a lot and that's what I use in... I'm gonna say that it's not just like it just comes from above. Yes, it does, but it's a lot based off my own personal experiences and the way that I guess I'm equipped in a way to understand myself and other people. Yeah, it is pretty fun, right? I guess it's really fun. So, what's the end game? When does it stop? Oh my god, I love this question. I love this question. You tell me, when does it stop? I have two sides, okay? Humor me. One of them is when I'm in a good mood. One of them is when I'm pessimistic. One of them is like when I think the pessimistic side is like we're just in a hellhole and we're always gonna be here and Earth is such a karmic school, which I still agree in both scenarios. But then there's one part of me which just doesn't care. When life is good, you don't give a shit about when it ends, right? So that one, I'm really going to have to think about it. And I feel like I don't have the time to think about it because my phone is about to die. So I guess I'm going to think about it. Honestly, if I'm being real, I don't want to think about it. Because what does it matter even if you do figure out when's the end game and when does the cycle stop? I think you don't really want it to stop. You want the pain to stop, right? It's not about when does the game stop. You're just in pain and you just want to be loved. That's what every human wants at the end of the day. It's just the purpose of our existence. It doesn't matter. Hi, how did you figure out you want to do tarot? Was it since childhood or you found this somewhere along your life's journey? Is your family spiritual? No, my family is not spiritual. I am the odd one. But I am very supported. I'm very blessed in that manner, again, touch wood. And everything has unfolded in this way where I don't know how to explain, but I was not at all, acquainted with tarot or anything like that. I just genuinely feel like if you hang in there, your path is going to unfold in the way it really has to. But the thing is, you have to be brave enough to figure out what is your path. There is no escape, there is no shortcut, and you cannot look at somebody else and be like, they climbed that mountain and why is it there not there for me in my destiny? The thing is, you have to put in the work to climb that mountain. And it's like you have to trust what is in the cards for you. You can't back down, you know. So you just let things unfold, and it takes a lot of guts. I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot of guts. It's not just something that I'm just going to say. You have to practice what you preach. And it's like you have fear, but you still do it despite that. And a lot of it is just replacing that fear quotient with faith. Like, oh my God, it's just, you're worried, but it just figures itself out. And you do whatever you understand the best you can do in that moment. That's it. That's the best you can do, Like they say, nobody really knows what they're doing. They're just all trying to wing it. And some people sometimes wing it so hard that they become role models for other people. So that's just what it is. I don't think, again, it's like you talk to a tarot reader or somebody that you look up to, and you expect them to give you the hidden keys to your life and things in ways in which, but you will realize once you get to know them that they're just as human as you are, and they're trying to figure out things just the way you are. You always have to stay true to yourself, whatever you're doing. You don't have to have all the answers, but you just got to do what you feel is right at the end of the day. That's it. That's what people who are happy are doing in their life. And it takes a lot of guts, because you're going to be scared. What are people going to think? How am I going to do it? Everything, the whole shebang. That's what it is, right? Somebody questioned, what have you manifested? I don't like this question. I don't know. I just don't like this question a lot. Anyway, I hope I didn't miss anybody out. I think you're very present each moment, a good listener. Congratulations, I appreciate it. Thank you, Anchal. You do know your psychology. Strong Pluto, take care. Thank you. Okay, I think that is it. I see still 15 people watching me. I am going to go now. I hope this was a good interaction. I got to interact with a couple of you. You're very, very warm. And I got to answer a little bit of these questions. I hope they were informative. And I don't know when I'm going to do this again, because I am very spontaneous. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to see you guys in another one. But I'm going to see you very soon. Okay? Bye-bye.